Hi everyone, welcome to Connecting with Your Angels series. Today I'm going to talk to you about Angel Raphael. He's one of my favorite archangels, and his specialty, I guess you can call it, is healing. I've witnessed a lot of healing through while working with this angel, and I'm going to talk to you about a few of them today. Angel Raphael is surrounded by the color green. That's his healing. That's the healing color, I guess, he uses to so that we can physically see that the healing has started. I had a special person in my family, and we do everything together. We've traveled together, and so we're very close. And one day she shows up at my door telling me that she had just come from the doctors, and the doctor had diagnosed her with breast cancer, and she had just found a lump, and she went for a regular mammogram thinking nothing of it, but the doctor confirmed that it was breast cancer. So of course she was devastated. So I took her by the hand, I brought her in the house, we sat in the living room sofa, and it just so happened the week before I had ordered a book through the library, and it was the healing powers of Archangel Raphael. So right away, I need to connect with him. While she's sitting in front of me, and she is devastated by the news, and I'm trying to hold everything together because this is devastating news for me also. And where she's sitting, the light from my patio door is coming through and hitting her in the face, and just lighting up her face. And her eyes she has green eyes, but her eyes were as green as I've never seen her eyes as green. They were like shining, like bright. And right away, I said, okay, I need to connect with Archangel Raphael. Healing's gonna come to her, and she's gonna be okay. I knew it deep down. So she stayed for a bit, and then she left with her husband, and so I stayed there, and right away I, connected with Archangel Raphael, and I thanked him for the healing that he was going to bring to her, that he was bringing to her now, and everything was going to be okay. So the next day, I went to see her. I drove to her house, and before I left, I was guided to meditate. So I sat down, I meditated for 10-15 minutes, and while in meditation they told me to go to my altar and pick up the green crystal that I had there. I had bought that crystal, and I even forgot that I had it on my altar. So I went upstairs and took that green crystal, and they told me I had to bring it to her, and it had to be the first thing she sees in the morning, the last thing she sees at night, because it would remind her that Archangel Raphael was bringing healing to her. So I drove down to her home, and I gave her the crystal, and I told her, put it where it's going to be the first thing you see in the morning and last thing you see at night. So she did put it beside her bedside table. And so we talked for a bit, and I left her with that. And I also gave her a little pendant with a green stone inside, and she put that on around her neck right away. And she said, "I'm going to wear this." And I said, "No, healing's going to come to you. It's coming now." So so I left, and on the next day, or the few days later, she called me and said, "I'm on my way to meet she belonged to a group of spiritual women, and so she went to that group because they wanted to bring healing to her. Also, everybody was working to make sure that things were going to be okay. But this is the thing that really kind of aced the deal with Archangel Raphael. She texted me and she said, "I'm on my way for the healing now." And I answered her back, and this is written on text. I wrote to her back, and I said, "Look for the green. Archangel Raphael will be there." And that's all I wrote. And so she went for healing, and she came back, and she says, "You're not going to believe what happened." And I said, well, what's going on? She said, well, when she got to the healing room, they laid her on the table. She never spoke a word. They laid her on the table. And so the group of women went around, everybody circled the table and they started the healing. And before the one that had organized the healing said, oh, just a minute. Somebody get me something green. I'm hearing that I need something green. So right away, oh, I'm saying this and I've got chills all over. So right away, she knew that the healing was it was started, and so she was started to cry, and another lady who was standing beside her, she said, well, that's funny. When I left the house, I had to run back in because I was guided to wear something green. So this is why I'm wearing this green scarf around my neck, which really doesn't match with my clothes, but I need to bring something green. So I knew then that things were going to be okay, and they are okay, because when she went back to the specialist, they took more tests, and they said, we don't even know what that lump is. It's not cancer, but we don't know what it is. It has all the characteristic. I can't say the English word, sorry. And it looks like a cancer. It feels like a cancer. It has everything a cancer should have, but it's not cancer. So, and they still don't know what that is. But she's still okay today, and she's still doing fine, and she's being checked by the doctor regularly, and there's nothing there. So that's just one story. My second story was how a family was divided by things happen in life, and family just separate, and you get to a point, in 2 years you're still not talking to family members, and 4 years and 5 years, and all of a sudden, you don't know what family become estranged for whatever reason. And I had a grandmother talk to me, and she wanted to see her grandson before she died. That's the only thing. She says, if I could just speak to him, because she's in her 80s. She says, I'm not getting younger, but she had given up. She says, I know I'll never speak to him again, and and I don't know what I did, and so I reached out to the grandson, who I did not know. I just had met him one time when he was about 7 years old. Now he was an adult. He was in his 20s, but I reached out to him and I said, he's not going to know who I am. He's going to think I'm crazy, and I asked Archangel Raphael to make this happen, to bring healing to the family, that they may connect one day, and that the grandmother would be at peace. And also the grandson, because, growing up, he was very close to his grandmother, but then things kind of went one way, But so within probably a few months after me contacting the grandson and just speaking and understanding how he had seen a situation that had happened in the family, and he hadn't seen it, the way they had saw it happen. So it was just not even a misunderstanding. It's just, I guess, when you're a child, you don't see things maybe not logically, but it's just things don't make sense to you. And he, I think at that point he had done the right thing by moving on, but now they need to come together. And so within 3 months, 2-3 months, he had contacted his grandmother, and now they are still connecting. They go to lunch and they get together, and now the grandmother is very happy with that. So Archangel Raphael will come in for any healing you need. So whether it be physical healing and emotional healing, whatever that is, there's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he won't do. And you have to remember that when you ask for healing, it has to be for everyone's highest good. So, I have people saying, well, why didn't he cure my father who had cancer? He died. Well, first of all, I really believe our time to transition, it's all predetermined. The lessons are done, everything you need to teach, it has been taught, and so you transition. So And you know, I lost my own father, and he was 65 years old when he passed. And the thing is, at first, you know, of course, I wanted my father to stay with us. But then I start to realize, you know, my father's quality of life was really not good, and yet always been very active. And then the last 5 years, he wasn't. He was pretty much bedridden and in a wheelchair and on oxygen. So you can't you can't ask you can't be too selfish about what you ask for, you know. So it has to be for everyone's highest good. So I hope these stories maybe brought a little bit more light into your life, and just never doubt the powers of an angel and the powers of healing of Archangel Raphael. And remember the color green. He will surround you with the color green, whether it be that on that day you decide to wear a green shirt without even connecting the two, and or you get to work and somebody's, you know, has a big green plant that they just received. It's going to be really subtle, and sometimes it's going to be right in your face. So I hope you enjoyed this, and so we'll talk about another angel the next time, and I'll have more stories for you. So wishing you all a wonderful day, and sending love and light to all.